Doing something a little bit different today. Today, I'm going to go live in very hot Australia. So I might be a little bit shiny because it's so hot here. But today, I want to show you, out of a homeschooling parent point of view, what I've been doing to create custom lessons for my children. Now, there's a few different softwares out there. In this video, I'm going to specifically demonstrate one type of software. And then I have created a playlist that will show you the various things that I've been doing and also different softwares. So the reason I'm showing you different softwares is because one software is not for everybody. So it depends on what you like, and it depends on the ease of the software, and maybe you want something really simple, maybe you want something more complicated, maybe you don't like the software as such, but you want to do something more custom. Hence the fact that I will show you all the different ways that I have been creating lessons for my children for the last year using AI. Now, I know AI is one of those words that as a homeschooling parent, you're like, ugh, I can't handle it. I don't want to hear it again. But it is the era that we are in. And most importantly, it will help you save hundreds and hundreds of hours a year. Trust me on this. It has been amazing. I got my 8-year-old to actually write stories where he did not want to write a single word. It used to be a fight every single day to get him to write something. And now he's writing stories with a pen and paper because it's important to write. And in this video, I'm going to show you one of the tools that is, I am affiliated with the tool, just so you know, but I don't get paid for it. I just got premium access. I'm going to be full transparent here. I got premium access to this tool to show you guys what it can do. So let me share my screen with you and then show you this tool. It's called Ed Cafe. Now, Ed Cafe is a tool that is, I want to say it's a year old, but it could be a little bit older, so don't quote me on how long it's been in existence for. But Ed Cafe is a really fun tool to use. So what Ed Cafe does is it simplifies lessons as you use them. So let me show you how this works, and then you can then get access for free, and then you can play with it and see how this will work for you. I'm just making sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to create new. And let me just flip between the screens. Yeah, okay, you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, again, apologies for the shininess on my face, which is obviously a little bit of sweat drops because it is so hot where I am. Okay, let's go. So we are inside Ed Cafe. So Ed Cafe, you can do different things. You can start planning by doing a slide deck. You can do teaching resources, lesson plan. You can also create chatbots, flashcards, AI image. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Now, if you are a teacher, you can also use this, right? It's going to help you to create lessons for your children in your classroom as well. So it's not just for homeschooling parents. All right, so inside, let's say we're going to create a quiz. Let's start with it. Okay, let's start with teaching resources. I'm very excited. So this is a fun software to use. So I'm inside my tutorial folder because I don't want to confuse you with how it looks when you already have lessons created. So this tutorial folder is brand new. I've just created that so I can show you how it looks like when you're already in it. So it's not going to show the existing stuff that I already have for my kids. So inside here, you've got create teaching resources. You can do articles, slide decks, videos, and also worksheets. So I'm going to use a fun topic, and I'm going to say frogs. Okay, my 8-year-old is obsessed with frogs and anything critter and lizards and whatnot. And it's just a fun topic. So I'm going to say here, give me the teaching resources for articles, slide decks, videos, and worksheets. And now it's going to basically go ahead and create this. So it takes a few minutes, so just be patient and let it work its magic. All right. Okay, so now what you see it's done is it has created the articles. So here's articles, and well, let me rephrase that. It didn't create the articles. It went to search on the internet for articles based on frogs. Now, purposefully, I didn't specify the frogs. I would recommend that you say, for example, a green tree frog or whatever frogs there is. So it has more details on a specific frog. So you can see it says University of Melbourne, frogs are amazing, pursue, frogs fun facts, Australian native frogs, etc. And then slide deck. So you've got a PowerPoint presentation on frog ID, But you see how cool this is. So instead of going to Google and saying to Google, hey, I want 10 types of frogs for my 8-year-old. Now AI is curating that information and it's giving you really good context on that specifically. All right, so let's go back into the lesson and or the thing, and says, okay, so videos, you've got black screen, 10 hours, crickets, frogs, summer, night sounds, cricket sounds, frogs, V4. All right, and then you can see all the different things, and then that's completely unrelated, but anyway. And then you also have worksheets, and then you can say this is the name of the worksheet. So I'm going to click on this worksheet so we can open it so you can see what it does. I just need to, unfortunately, stop sharing and then reshare because it opens it in a different screen. Just to make sure that you can see it. You can. All right. So now it created this worksheet on frogs. What do you know about frogs? Test your knowledge about frogs and putting an X in either enter, true, or correct. And then you can say, okay, frogs are found on every continent in the world. Is that true or false? Frogs tend to jump. So now it's giving you all of this. So there's some logos on the bottom there, but now you can see it giving you that. So if you want a quick lesson on frogs to show your kids, you don't have to go and create this, because creating something like this, let's be real, it's going to take at least 30 minutes to do that or 20 minutes to do that. So it's really simplified it. All right, so let me again stop sharing and reshare. Love technology. And now we are back into the main screen here. So now you can see you've got worksheets. If you click on it, and you see what you can do. I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to go back to my tutorial folder, and then I'm going to say here, create new. So what I wanted to do now is I wanted to create let's say, a lesson plan. Now the lesson plan goes into more detail. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the subject of frogs, and I'm going to say, create a lesson on a green tree frog. And then additional information, you can say specify any additional needs such as student levels. So I'm going to say it's for an 8-year-old. So you just literally follow the instructions that they've got here. And then you can say, okay, online, I want to search Google for lesson resources, standard, enter examples. So you can choose there. So I'm just going to say National Australian Standards because I am in Australia. And then English is obviously the language. And then you can choose here if you want a text, web page, files, etc. So let's do topic, create lesson. And it takes a few minutes to think about this. And then it gives you the learning objection. So as you can see, it now provides you with the curious about tree frog, learning objectives. Is by the end of this lesson, students should be able to describe 3 key features on life stages of a green tree frog using their own words, which is important because out of experience is kids need to be able to summarize information, right? Learning objections, standard alignment, vocabulary. So here you can see here it says green tree frog, a common green amphibian found in Australia. An amphibian is an animal that lives in water and on land. A tadpole is like, it just breaks it down. I think this is amazing. And then it says essential questions. By the way, this is the first time I've actually entered a frog into here. We've done some soccer lessons, some other lessons. So I'm seeing this for the first time like you see it. And I think this is really great. So it says, how does a tree frog body help it survive where it lives in water? And then there's articles based on that. So that's pretty cool. So it doesn't just thumb suck into the air and say, oh, okay, let's find this. It actually goes, this Ed Cafe goes and searches the internet for information, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And then you've got lesson procedure, opening hook. So show the class in a clear photo of a green frog. And then it gives direct instructions, etc. I'm not going to go into more details on this, but like you can see here, it really breaks down the lesson for this. And you can go more detailed. You can say, for example, to this tool, hey, listen, I want to incorporate math into this. And you can do simple math in a sense of the frog jumped 500 meters or yards or whatever country you're in, and there's two, like say there's 4 frogs, and you can do word sounds out of this. You can say there's 4 frogs, one jumped 5 meters, 10 meters, the other one jumped 20 meters, whatever. What is the combined meters that they've jumped? Or you can do some division. If 2 frogs jump 5 meters and the other frogs jump 6 meters, how many meters have they jumped in total if they jumped across whatever the pond? And the pond is so many meters away. So I'm just literally thumb sucking this as I'm going, but you get the point. So this is a really great tool for using when you're creating lessons. So let's go back into, let's see, let's go to home, and let's go to library, and let's say create new, and I'm going to say let's do an AI image. Let's see. Okay, describe the image and choose the style. So green tree frog, fun but real image. I don't know if it's going to do anything in that specific context, but let's see what it says, because it is very specific in photographic, digital painting, comic, neon, old film, 3D model. Let's see what it does. And you can see it's still thinking. There you go. I think that's cute. There it gives the image there. Tree frog. It's fun, but it's real. So it's not 100% realistic. And you can then take this and you can stick it onto your lesson when you print it out. So that's a fun way to do that as well. All right. So what else do we have in here? You have, let's say, create new. And let's say AI speech. And let's say create a story of a green tree frog for a 8-year-old. Okay, and let's say we want to use Adam's voice and say generate speech. It's not actually going to create the story, by the way. It's just going to read that what we typed in now.
Create a story of a green tree frog for an 8-year-old.
You can't hear it, unfortunately, because my speakers isn't set up that way. But that's basically what it does then. And then it creates the speech. So you can create fun videos for your children based on specifically these voices, etc. So this is a really fun thing to do as well. All right. And then let's go create new, and let's say reading activity. Now you want to teach your children how to read if they're in the beginning stages, or they're really not really good in reading and you want to improve their reading, then this is a way to do that. So the reading activity is about frogs. So make it fun for a 7-year-old to learn how to read, or let's say 6-year-olds, because 6-year-olds are generally where they start learning to read, 5 to 6. Let's say 6-year-olds where they start to read. Oops. Oh, okay, let's try that again. Create a reading. Sorry, my brain is having a flop. Reading piece on frogs for a 5-year-old learning to read. We just do it like that. Okay. Instructions is tone is fun and starter. Okay, fun and new at reading. So obviously, you know, if you've been teaching your children, you would know that sight words and phonics and things like that are the most important part of actually learning how to read. But I'm just going to pop it in like this, and then I can say to this, incorporate phonics and sight words. Okay, so let's try it, see what it does. I haven't tried this before. My kids already know how to read and write. They've been there. So, and then you can say, see, I see a green tree frog. It's a frog. The frog is green. It can hop and jump. I like the frog. The frog says, Rupert. You can say, Rupert, Rupert, Rupert. The frog can hop, hop, hop. You get it. I'm not going to read the whole story, but this is fun. And then you can actually export this as well. You can add the audio, which is awesome. So we can say, Sophie, you can generate the audio, and then Sophie can read this. And then this story becomes like a reading and audio, learn to read is the word I'm looking for. Then it becomes a learn to read, which is really fantastic as well. We actually subscribe to a software, not a software, an app that is a lot of ebooks. And one of the ways that my kids have learned to read really well is with this app, because this app is actually a learn to read. So on a side note, how to learn is if you tap your left finger on the words while you listen to it and you read it at the same time. That's a really good way to memorize information. And this is a great way to do that, because now the voice is going to read it out loud and you can follow the words and tap it at the same time. So it's a really fun way to do that. And then you can add vocabulary, you can add passage, you can add quizzes, you can do all kinds of things with this again. So Ed Cafe is amazing. I'm not going to make this video longer than it already is, but I want to show you what is possible with AI using various tools. So if you click in this playlist, there's various tools, various ways of how I've been doing homeschooling lessons with my children, and it is just a fantastic way. In 2026, don't spend a ridiculous amount of time on doing these things. Let AI take the groundwork away from you. You put your knowledge in there, you put your kids' interest in there, you customize these lessons, and they can excel with skills as well. Alrighty, my name is Joy Nicholson. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.